And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Friday, October 29th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company. It's not on.
Say good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you today?
It's nice to have you with us. We also have with us today Alicia Silcox, who's the travel coordinator. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And we're going to be talking about traveling this morning.
Yes, sir.
Who's going to get us started?
I'll go ahead and get us started. We are so happy to be here today, Talisha and I, and we're here to talk to you about the premier parties that Wilson Bank and Trust will be having for our travel club. And what that is we have parties all over throughout our branches that, people can come and they'll see the previews of where we're going to be traveling next year. And that introduces them, to where we'll be going and what we'll be doing and how they can sign up and just get ready for those trips next year. And when you're ready, I'll be happy to go over where those premier parties are going to be.
Well, why don't you do that?
Okay. We're excited about where we're going in 2022, and we're going to be starting out at Sycamore Church of Christ in Cookeville, and that's on Wednesday, which is next week. Can you believe November's here? Next week on November the 3rd at 1 o'clock, and that's located at 1144 Crescent Drive in Cookeville. Now, all these premier parties are on our website, so if you don't have pen and paper there in front of you this morning to jot these places down, you can go on our website and find out where these premier parties are. The next one's going to be on November the 5th at Community Church of Hendersonville, and that's located at 381 West Main Street in Hendersonville. The next one, I think you'll all recognize these two names, but this next premier party is going to be at the Clemens Richardson Operations Center, just right there behind the main office here in Lebanon, and that's going to be on Monday, November the 15th at 2 p.m. And then in Mount Juliet, we're going to have one on 1476 North Mount Juliet Road on Tuesday, November the 16th, and that's at 10 a.m. And then in Hartsville, that's going to be at 127 McMurray Boulevard in Hartsville, and that's on Wednesday, November the 17th at 2. We have about 4 more, and I'll try to get through those. DeKalb County Complex, and that's at 712 South Congress Boulevard in Smithville, and that's on Thursday, November the 18th. And then in our Carthage office on Thursday, November the 18th at 1, that will be located at 1300 Main Street North there in Carthage. And then our Memorial office at Memorial Boulevard in Murfreesboro, that's Friday, November the 19th at 2. And then our Hermitage office is our last one on Wednesday, December the 1st at 10 a.m. And that's located at 4736 Andrew Jackson Parkway in Hermitage. So you can see, Coleman, for the travel club, we're going to be kind of busy.
Oh, you've got a lot of places to go to.
We do. And we're very excited about where we're going next year. I'm not at liberty to discuss those this morning. We'd like to invite everybody to come to the premier parties to find out where those great places are going to be.
Okay. All right. Talisha, what do you have for us?
We do. We're excited. We have a full itinerary plan for 2022. And like Miss Carolyn said, you can catch all those trips on our website. That's wilsonbank.com/travel. And I hugely encourage you guys to try and make it out to one of these preview parties. But our trips fill up quick. So if you can pick up a 2022 travel guide at any Wilson Bank location starting the first week of December.
Do you have a number of how many trips are going to be throughout the year?
We have several day trips, several overnight trips. The distances depend on where we're going, and we have something for everybody.
Yeah, and you have to either go online. Can you get this online now, or can you later after you've had your get-togethers?
After the preview parties, right, we'll have them posted online. Yes, sir.
But not yet. If you want to know first, you go to the party.
Yes, sir.
And of course, anybody that's interested at all is invited to come
Absolutely.
and get an idea.
Yes, sir.
And I suppose the same information will be given at each one of these, right? So
Yes, sir.
if you make one, that's good, unless you like it so well you want to
That you come again. Sure.
How long you been doing this?
I have been with Wilson Bank since 2017, but I've been with the travel department since 2019.
Okay, a couple of years. for
Yes,
you,
sir.
maybe. And Carolyn?
I've been at the bank in just a couple of weeks, 20 years. And with me being there 20 years, we've been traveling the whole time I've been there. I'm not sure when it began, but it continues to grow and grow and grow, which is great. That's what we love, and we love people. And so we've been traveling all over the world ever since I've been there.
You enjoy that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, apparently a lot of other people do too. So the preview parties are to find out what's in store next year, travel-wise, for all the friends of Wilson Bank and Trust.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you all for being with us today. And we usually remind everybody it's Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender, still here, still independent, still committed to you. Excellence in banking since 1987. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Coleman.
you.
Okay, 10 minutes after the hour. And Carolyn, Jack wants your seat, and you are ready to be like Elvis and leave the building. So, Jack, if you'll take a seat there, we'll get ourselves started here this morning. Jack Mccall is my guest, and I want to welcome him again. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
It is nice to have you with us, and let me start out by saying that Jack is an accomplished speaker, has been speaking all over the United States and maybe in other places in the world for several years. He writes a column that's in both of our local newspapers once a week. And Jack, I've heard you speak a couple of times. I have read your column almost religiously, and I think you're as good a writer as you are a speaker.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
How you been?
Been good. Been good. It's been an interesting month, Coleman.
Like how?
Well, I had a duck hunting trip planned for Canada, I guess 3 years ago, and couldn't make it the first year, and then COVID came, and so it kept being pushed back, and so on November 2nd, I flew out of Nashville for this trip, and I got to feeling bad while I was up there. And, of course, they tested us for COVID before we could get into Canada. Then they tested us for COVID before we got out. But I just kept feeling bad. To make a long story short, when I finally got back across the border, my wife convinced me to go straight to the hospital, and so I had double pneumonia.
Oh.
So I spent 4
But
days.
not COVID.
Not COVID. I've been tested 4 times for COVID. I've been tested so many times I don't even study for the tests anymore. I just go ahead and take them.
That's a good one.
But spent 4 days in the hospital and made it out, and it's that just pretty much took up the month of October for me, and I'm feeling better now. And
Well, we'll have a break here in about 3 minutes. We've got time to talk about maybe speaking engagements and this sort of thing. And I know that last time or two you've been here, we talked about those opportunities being curtailed considerably, maybe almost down to zero.
As a matter of fact, everything was canceled the first year of COVID, and things have started being booked again. I'm doing a couple in November and a couple in December, so things are picking back up. And some speakers bureaus are pitching to do virtual things, but I'm not into the virtual stuff. You know, I do not like speaking to an eye that doesn't blink. I'd rather speak to people. So I've decided not to do the virtual stuff.
You have to have that audience to warm up.
Oh, you do.
To do your best, don't you?
You know, if you don't have the audience to play off of, and you know, it's a wonderful back and forth between a speaker and an audience. You know, if you're connecting with them, and that's what makes it fun to watch people and people
What's
watch you.
maybe the biggest audience, biggest number of people you've spoken to? At any
Oh,
one time?
probably 3,000. I'd say is probably the biggest audience in this.
Conventions have been one of the things,
Yeah.
one that you spent a lot of time with.
I did a big FFA convention in Gatlinburg several years ago, and there were probably 3,000 there.
Yeah.
Smallest audience I've ever done is 2. so
Dude, you, we haven't talked about this much, but I think you have conducted, taught a Sunday school class.
Sure,
You
sure.
still doing that?
Yeah, I've been doing this class for 10 years in a restaurant, and it continues to grow, and it's really one of the more fun things I do. It's a great group of guys, and it's called the Whosoever Will Men's Bible Class. We meet in a restaurant. A good friend of mine, now deceased, named Brian Townsend, started a class like this in Talladega, Alabama several years ago, and kind of inspired me to do that. And
Where do you do this?
we meet in a little restaurant called Farmer's Harvest on Broadway in Hartsville, and we meet at 8:30. I start teaching at 8:45, and I'm finished by 9:15, so guys can still get to Sunday school somewhere else if they want.
30 minutes.
30 minutes, yep.
Do you have a variety? I mean, you choose the topic.
I choose the topic, and I've probably not taught the same class over 3 or 4 times. I just kind of go with the flow and whatever's. I kind of leave myself open. I read a lot of Bible commentaries and daily devotionals, and kind of whatever pops up is what I speak about.
What might be your average attendance?
35 average. We've had as many as 70. And lots of times we'll have as many as 50, but we probably average 35 or 40.
But anybody's invited to that.
Sure,
would like to
sure.
like to do that.
Sure.
Okay. With that, let's take our break here. Jack Mccall, speaker and writer, is my guest this morning. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And, excuse me, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford. That regular oil change, $24.95, up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal, $16.73. West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Cleanup continues over here in Two Rivers on this crash. It's Briley Parkway near McGavick Pike going southbound. It's been over here for a while. It is in its clearing stages. There's so much traffic volume on this side of town. Wreck with injuries just now reported on 440 eastbound there at I-40. That's going to be on the west side. We know the fire department's en route to that location. I-40 starting to build coming through Kingston Springs. All that traffic in from Hickman County and Dixon County. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, home of the world-famous cotton candy wine. Log on today, GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
Hi, this is Rick Wittrig. Do you have projects that need painting? Well, why paint when the Powder Coat Art Company will beautifully powder coat your project with a tough, durable, baked-on finish? We have options for commercial, residential, automotive, off-road, and motorcycle parts. See us on Facebook or Instagram, or for a quote, go online at powdercoatart.com or come see us at 1746 Sparta Pike in Lebanon.
Hey, TP.
Yeah, JB?
You ready?
For Friday Night Lights, you better believe it. Join us on the Fakes and Hooker Scoreboard Show every Friday night after the Lebanon High football game. We'll have all the scores for you and even post-game interviews with all of your Wilson County coaches.
Thank you to our sponsors, Designers Carpet, Fakes and Hooker, Lebanon Appliance, Palometto's Insurance, Sammy B's Restaurant, and Kenny Salas and the hometown team with Keller Williams Realty.
It's the Fakes and Hooker Scoreboard Show with John Boyce and Trenton Perry, right here on WANT 98.9 FM.
We continue here on a Friday morning. Jack Mccall is my guest, and if you're just joining us, Jack's been a public speaker for a number of years, and he writes a newspaper column. You also have some books.
I do.
You sell books. You've written
5.
Okay,
5
I was going
books.
to guess a half a dozen, but they're good. They got a lot of humor, a lot of interest, and really. We have sort of similar backgrounds in that we both grew up in the country, and we know what. Now you farmed in a big way, and I did in a small way, but to know what it's like to see sheep sheared, raising cattle, raising tobacco, corn, corn cribs, all these things that you write about, and I can identify with, and I bet a lot of other people can too. You got a couple of stories you want to share.
Well, one thing about tobacco crops, I was telling somebody the other day, whether we had 2 acres or 10, the first half was kind of easy, and the second half always just about killed us, regardless. I don't know if it's a mental thing or not, but I came over Wednesday morning and we double booked, and so when I was coming over this morning, I was thinking about the time I had a speech in Nashville with the Association of County Registrars at the Embassy Suites, and so I show up for the speech and I ask around till I find the contact person, and I walk up to her and I say, I guess you're looking for me. And she said, who are you? And I said, I'm Jack Mccall, your speaker for the evening. She said, no, you're not. And I said, well, I am Jack Mccall. She said, but you're not our speaker for the evening. And I said, how come? And she said, don't you remember? I told you we couldn't afford you. So I just hung out around the Embassy Suites and then went home. So it happens, Coleman.
Thank you. Don't you remember? I told you we couldn't afford.
Yeah.
You don't remember that?
Well, vaguely, but I put it on my calendar and didn't take it off. And
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to tell you, when I was in Canada and I was really sick, and when I got back, I found out I had pneumonia. So my mind is focused on getting through security and border patrol to get back on that plane, because I didn't want to enter a hospital in Canada and get hung up with all that. And so, I was pacing myself every time I went through a border checkpoint. And one time they stopped us and asked us for our COVID test, and we gave it to them, and they took a red pen and marked it on our airplane ticket. And so I'm just working through these things and trying to keep my breathing going with a mask on. And finally I get to the last checkpoint, and I'm looking down this hall, and it's like looking into the promised land. I have made it, So I answer my last question, and I turn around to start down this hall, feeling incredible relief. And this Border Patrol agent walks up and taps me on the shoulder. And I almost wet my pants. And he said, sir, your zipper's down. That was the last thing I was worried about, Coleman, I'll tell you, is crossing the border with my zipper up. So, no matter how much pressure you're feeling, sometimes the pressure's off.
But that was, even that was a relief when that's the only problem he had.
It was a relief, to say the least.
Well, you must have been pretty sick.
I was, and I kept thinking I had a sinus infection.
Yeah.
Because I was getting a little blood out of my nose, and sometimes that'll go into your chest, and I really didn't know how sick I was. But when I got back and got in the hospital and they did the x-ray, they said one of my lungs was completely white with pneumonia, and the other one was really compromised.
Well, how did this all begin?
I don't know. 2 or 3 days before I started to do this duck hunting trip, I had a chill one night and didn't really think a lot about it. My son, who's a nurse, said your immune system was already trying to deal with this pneumonia. So I reckon fatigue just caught up with me, and once you get it in your lungs, it just passed back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it was. You can never sing the praises of a local hospital enough. The Trousdale Medical Center really took care of me. They really did.
Good.
And I was improving immediately.
You had a trip to Florida.
Had a trip to Florida with the grandkids. Spent a week.
Was that before?
That was actually after I got out of the hospital. That was the next week. And so I only made it down to the beach one time. I just kind of sat and took breathing treatments and worked on getting better.
Are you okay now?
Oh, yeah. The doctor said it'll probably take me a month to 6 weeks to really for my lungs to completely recover.
But it wasn't COVID, wasn't COVID related or anything?
Nope. Yeah. Strange.
Well, we've got, I don't think it's any secret, it's okay if I mention this, but Lunita Howard, who has this newspaper called The Edge up at Watertown and wherever in that area, she's been in the hospital, and it's some sort of, but it's not COVID. Mm-hmm. And I understand maybe she had to go back. She's a very valuable person, has done actually used to be, I think, news editor for the Lebanon Democrat. Been with us for a long time, and we wish her the best. And I guess it might be something sort of like what you've had.
You know, this COVID thing is so strange. I was talking to my physician not too long ago, and he said, well, there are 3 things we know for sure, because you've got all these people who say, vaccinate, don't vaccinate, I'll never vaccinate. And he said, well, there are 3 things we know for sure. One is, it is among us, okay? COVID is among us. He said, the second thing we know is if you're vaccinated and you get COVID, you probably won't die if you've been vaccinated. And he said, the other thing is that COVID targets the weakest part of your immune system, and the victim doesn't know where they're weak. And that's the mystery of it.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, it attacks wherever you're weakest. And so, you know, the CDC and WHO and all these people who do all this double talk stuff have never really focused on the importance of a strong immune system. You know, your best defense against this is to have a really strong immune system.
Yeah.
And there's some things you can do.
That certainly makes sense. What do you do for recreation? You
For
do
recreation?
a lot of different things.
Well,
I know
I'll
you're a big UT fan.
I'm a big UT fan. We're struggling, but I think things are looking a little brighter along the way. You know, one thing, when things happen to you in life, I never say why. I usually say, what can I learn from this? And one thing I've learned from this pneumonia thing is I probably had too many irons in the fire, and I'm going to cut back on some things. Just too much going on.
Yeah.
I'm on a lot of boards and active in civic clubs, and just I'm going to focus on doing fewer things a little bit better than doing a whole bunch of things pretty good, which is easy to do.
You're still going to do a few speaking assignments.
Yeah, I've got, let's see, I'm speaking to the Agriculture Extension Service. I'm doing a thing in December. I'm speaking to the Virginia Asphalt Association in December. Speaking to a bank down in West Tennessee in December. So I've got several speeches coming up.
Well, you have, especially I think when you've gone several hundred miles away from home, have taken advantage of the scenery or whatever there is to see in that particular area.
And I've got to where I usually take an extra day now, because it's not nearly as excuse me, as romantic as people think it is, because lots of times you fly into a town and you spend the night and you make a speech and you're back on the plane the next day and you don't even see the town. But I've been taking a little bit more time to
Well, you golf or fish?
Don't golf. Takes too long. You know, you're committed to 4 hours if you would love to.
It is if you play 18 holes.
It is, and don't really fish. We have some cattle that I love to fool with.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a
you've never totally gotten away from your rural roots.
Never have.
That's like they say, you can take the boy out of the country, can't take the country out of the boy.
That's sometimes I do this little line in a speech. You never want to forget where you came from. End a sentence with a preposition. That's like the high school boy came over to see his girlfriend, and she was a sophomore and he was a junior, and she walked out on the porch with disdain in her eyes and said, "I thought I told you to come over after supper." He said, "That's what I've come over after." And so you end a sentence with a preposition. You then never forget from where you came or where you came from.
Well, we got a couple of more minutes here this morning. It's always nice to have you, and we don't rehearse this. You're not either one know really what we're going to talk about, but we do have an opportunity here to mention your books. You said you've written 5 of them.
Right.
And they are available for people, and I would recommend them. You've given me 2 or 3 of them. I've really enjoyed reading them.
You could get my books at my website, jackmccall.com, or if you want a real deal, you can email me at jack@jackmccall.com, and I'll get the books to you.
Now, D.T. McCall still have them?
They still have them in Lafayette and in here in Lebanon too. Yeah, and Cox Jewelers has my books too.
Are you,
Marty,
you gonna be writing any more? Are you through with this?
No, I really need to. Gosh, I've got so many columns stored. I probably need to do a book of of the columns. And I've thought about doing a book called Tobacco Road because I have so many stories, tobacco stories. Every week something different was going on in tobacco. They used to say you grow tobacco 13 months out of the year. And that's been real popular as I've picked up more papers around Middle Tennessee. People remember that.
I don't know how popular a book like that would be with the younger folks. But those of us that have been around, I mean, tobacco back in even the 40s, but especially the 50s and 60s, it was a way of life.
It was a way of life, yep.
And you were right, 13, I mean, you started next year before this year's over sometime.
Yep, you were cleaning out a barn or getting things ready. One thing, today these young parents think they've got to be at every ball game. What we learned was that my dad stayed at home and got ready for the next day so we could play ball. That's the sacrifice he made. Because the next day we were ready to go because he stayed at home and got everything lined up.
But you learned so much with your rural upbringing.
Yeah.
And it shows in your writing and your stories.
You learned hard work even though you didn't realize how hard it was at the time.
Right. Yeah.
And you learned not to apologize in the fall if you had a great crop and not to complain if it was a short crop. It was just life. Yeah. And you learned about life and death with livestock and the miracle of the sand and the soil and the sun, and there's just something different if you grew up like that.
Jack, thanks so much for being with us. I appreciate it. We'll do it again. Hopefully it won't be too long.
Hey, it's always my pleasure.
All right. Jack Mccall, and that's part one of Coleman and Company. Keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by our friends at Absolute Kubota. Large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Come in Saturday. Free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Wrapping up this crash out here on the west side. That's what we've been keeping an eye on for the last few minutes. 40 east at 440. Traffic, of course, pretty busy over here on this side of West Nashville. All that traffic coming in from Dixon County. Still trying to clear up a couple of wrecks. One there near Trinity Lane on 65 southbound. And still looks good right now. I-40 coming through Mount Julia. Traffic's been positive so far over in Wilson County. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, home of the world-famous cotton candy wine. Check them out at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
Hey, this is Paul with Bates Ford, and with football season kicking off, so is the great deals with Bates Ford. We've got the Works vehicle package for the low price of $49.95, which includes a tire rotation and an oil change. We also got the cheapest batteries in town for $134.95 installed on most vehicles. And on the vehicle sales sides, we got some great deals. Always looking to buy vehicles. If you got something to sell, bring it to Bates Ford for a cash offer. That's Bates Ford, 1673 West Main Street.
It's that time of year, warm days and cool nights, and you know what that means. The Mill of Christmas, Friday, November 5th and Saturday, November 6th. Don't miss the ultimate shopping experience with vendors galore at the historic Mill at Lebanon. The Mill of Christmas, Friday, November 5th, VIP Sip and Shop, and Saturday, November 6th, Family Fun Day. Santa arrives at noon. For more information, visit us on Facebook, The Mill of Christmas.
It's going to be a chilly, rainy day out there today with highs only climbing into the upper 50s, so you'll need to grab a jacket. On Saturday, it doesn't get any warmer. Temperatures only top out in the upper 50s with cloudy skies. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's Look at Your Forecast. I'm meteorologist T.J. Scott.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part two. I sometimes forget to go on the air like I'm going to come on, and I'm just talking away. Hey, you're on.
I was looking for that.
Oh, we welcome you to part two of Coleman and Company, and every Friday we talk about the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty. Sometimes it's just Medina. Sometimes it's just Miss Judy, but today we've got them both. Ladies, good morning.
You got double trouble.
Double
today.
trouble.
C&D team, Exit Rocky Top Realty, 1330 West Main Street. They're great people, great service. Somebody answers the phone 24 hours a day. Most of all, I think they're people you can trust. And Medina likes to get to say it at least twice.
You don't want to make a move without us.
That kind of is, you came up with that, didn't you?
Yes, well, I said it, and then MJ grabbed it, and she said, "There's your tag right there."
You never know when something like that's going to
That's right. That's right.
Miss Judy, you've got a particular shirt on this morning. It says, "I got your backbone."
That's right.
And
That's for Halloween.
all right.
Today's the last day to wear
Two
it.
skeletons. Wonder who the skeletons are.
Where the bodies are buried. Well, get us started about real estate.
Well, I was going to talk a little bit about buyers and sellers when you're putting your house on the market, what to expect. But for buyers, when a house is listed in the MLS and is represented by a realtor, if you want to go look at it, you've got to call an agent to make an appointment or call the listing agent to make an appointment to look at the house. And just going to go through a few things. If you're a buyer and you're going to be out looking, what to expect. Now, there's some homes that when you go in, they say the agent must be present to look. And that means the listing agent has to be there. And some sellers want the listing agent there to see what's going on. So the listing agent just keeps their mouth shut and just is there and present. And then the buyer's agent is with them. And some people want you to take your shoes off when you go in the house. And some people like that, some people don't. And normally, if you're going to request their shoes to be off, then you need to have the little booties there for them to put on over their shoes. So that way it satisfies everybody. Because some people get real offended and go, "I'm not taking my shoes off." And then some people are okay with it. So it's according to what the seller has requested. As a listing agent, you're supposed to go by what they want you to do. And then also, we always tell the sellers, when buyers come in, they're going to open your oven doors and they're going to look. So you need to make sure that oven's clean, and they're going to open your refrigerator. And you think, well, the refrigerator might not be going with the house. Why are they looking at my refrigerator? Well, they want to look in case they want to ask for it. They want to look at that refrigerator. And I've had a few customers go, "You can tell how people live if you look in their refrigerator." And that's true about 90% of the time. You look in people's refrigerator and you can tell how they maintain a house a lot. So keep that in mind. Go home, look in your refrigerator. I'm sure Helen's got it perfect. But anyway,
It's close to perfect.
they will look in your refrigerator. And women, they will look in your closets. So you want to kind of have that prepared. And as an agent, as a buy-in agent, as the people go through, sometimes they come with kids, and you have to keep everybody corralled together to the same room if possible. Because I've had some experiences with that when they have 3 or 4 kids and the kids are all going upstairs and the other people are downstairs and you're trying to keep up with what's going on with everybody.
Like herding cats.
Sometimes. I mean, I've had a few things happen. You know, one lady, when she came home, this little kid, I guess, had been eating M&Ms, and they had put M&Ms in her high-heel shoes in the closet. And she called me and she said, "I've got M&Ms in my shoes." So you don't know what kids are going to do. And I had one kid started jumping on the bed. So you have to have tact to tell the parents, "No, we can't let them do that." So sometimes it gets, you have to be a negotiator with the buyers a lot of times with who they brought with them. But
your experience shows
you just
every
don't
week
ever know.
when you get on the soapbox, and I love it.
Oh, you just never know. And you just want to make sure that everything that you're doing, if you lock the doors, the agent always tells you when you go to show, leave the house like you left it. If you came in and all the lights were on, when you leave them all on. If the doors were all locked, you lock them back. And we have a lot of problem. People go pull in their garage, use their garage door opener, and the door that goes up the steps to the house, they don't lock it. Well, when agents come and show it, when they lock it up, they lock up that garage door because they're like, "I don't remember if that was locked or not." So they lock it. Well, the people come home, and that night you get the call, "I'm home and my door's locked and I don't have my key." So you got to go over there and get the key out of the lockbox and lock it up. So you have to pay attention to a lot of stuff when you're showing a house, even after you're trying to tell them
what's in the house.
Yeah.
And then you have to be very careful now. 90% of the houses they're patrolled by cameras, everything. So a lot of people are sitting at work watching you tour their home and they're listening to everything you say. So you have to be careful. You tell your buyers before you get out of the car, they probably have cameras. So be careful what you say. You don't want them going, well, this house, she's pitiful with her housekeeping. or, I don't like this. And people will get real offended. So you got to tell them, don't talk till we get back outside.
Yeah.
Because we have things like that we have to watch now that we've never had to deal with before. So
Isn't it fun to be a real estate
Oh, you never know. You learn every day. I tell agents, if you think you know it all, you better go back to school because you will learn something every week.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. You grow and you learn, and the laws change, and then you have to be flexible with everything. So I'm going to let Medina talk.
All right, Medina.
Now, she's talked about the buyers. I'll talk about the sellers for a few seconds. And the sellers, when you're getting ready to list your house, you want to walk through your house and just act like it's not yours. And say, if I was walking through this house, do I have too much furniture in my living room? A lot of people put too much furniture, which makes the living room look small, or they have pictures on every inch of the wall in the living room, and that makes it look small. So you want to go through and say, okay, I don't need that piece of furniture, I don't need that, I don't need these pictures, and it widens up the room. And then also, when you go into the owner's suite, you have the owner's closet. Well, you and your husband are the only ones that walk into the closet. So if somebody else walks in the closet, you got to act like you're the buyer. Well, this closet is a mess. I need to put my shoes up or box up some clothes I'm not wearing to make the closet look bigger.
Uh-huh.
And then in the garage, that's where the men go. When the buyers walk in, that's the first place the men go, is the garage. So you want to make sure your garage is neat or it's uncluttered.
Yeah.
If you've got stuff just stacked everywhere, you want to make sure that you've got it out of the way. That way it looks bigger, and it's like, okay, you move all this stuff out, it is bigger. But when buyers walk in and they don't see that, they're like, whoa, this garage won't fit my car in here.
Huh.
So we need to move on to the next one. So stuff like that, you just need to walk through and act like you're the buyer. And if you walk in the room and you say, boy, this is too small, or that's ugly over there, I need to get rid of that. Or sometimes, too, if you have a lot of light switches on a single wall, then sometimes the sellers will put sticky notes beside the light switch to say, oh, this is the living room, or this is this. Because even the sellers get confused on the light switches. Sometimes you walk through the house and you can click on everything and not be the right one. So you want to walk through your kitchens the same way, like your stove, your refrigerator. Every woman's going to open the stove and refrigerator. If the stove is not clean, that's another telltale of how you maintain a house.
Ah.
So just different things you can think of. And also, if some sellers will leave a crock pot of cinnamon, something, just cook it just to smell the house up, or to have plug-ins. And you always want to use vanilla, not flowers. Anything like that, just vanilla, and it goes through the house. It's very nice, and it doesn't cover up, but it smells good. And some people used to bake cookies, but people don't do that anymore because of the COVID and everything of that nature. But you could bake something to make it smell like cookies in the house, and it's always more inviting. It might make you hungry as well. But that's just a little bit of tidbits for sellers to get their house ready for the market.
Well, some great information this morning, and you do need listings?
Yes, all the time. All the time. We have a handful of buyers coming in. I showed around buyers from Michigan yesterday. So they're still coming in. They're still wanting to move here. So if you are looking to put your house in the market, or you just want to see how much your house is worth, give us a call. It won't take but a few minutes. And when we come into your house, we're not looking at the mess. We're looking at the floor plan.
All right.
Okay? So that'll give you time to get it ready for the market.
615-443-3130. Somebody answers the phone, and we'll get to you. They'll get right to you. And we appreciate you all being with us. See you next Friday. And
don't make a move without us.
All right.
Happy Halloween.
All right. We have terrific Teresa joining us this morning from the Lebanon Senior Citizen Center. And good morning to you.
Good morning.
Well, it's good to see you again.
Yes, very good. You were on special assignment last month when I was here, so
Yeah.
I'm glad you're back from special assignment, Coleman.
I had a long special assignment. I actually had two of them, I guess we could say. But You look like a referee this morning.
I am. Well, guess what? We're having our Halloween party at the senior center today. Whoops. And we always do it usually on Halloween or the closest holiday before Halloween, closest day that we're open. So we're having our Halloween party today. And my friend Tim and I are going to be referees today. So I got our shirts and.
So that okay. Then I did call it right.
I am. I even have my whistle, but I won't blow it on the radio because MJ would frown at me. But we're having a lot of fun. We're going to have a dance. Everything usually at the center when we have a party, a dance is a good thing to do. They like music. Even if you don't want to dance, you can just sit around and listen to the music. I had to dust off my Monster Mash CD because we didn't get to have a Halloween party last year. And every time I get my Monster Mash CD out, I think about Ray Pope. He always used to get up there and I'd have to play the karaoke version. And Ray always did the Monster Mash for me. So when I pull out my Monster Mash CD, it makes me miss Ray. And but I think back on all the fun memories we've had over all the Halloweens. I will tell you that probably I have two different, and I want to say couples, or not couples. Rick and Valerie are couples. I think they have had a different Halloween costume every year for at least the last 10 years. And I asked Rick because it's always a surprise what they're going to be. And Rick said, well, we're gonna reuse old costumes this year. So I can't wait to see which one. They have been Bacon and Eggs and Jack and Jill, and they have done so many cute costumes. So I'm anxious to see what costumes. I said they could be Jack and Jill, and she fell down the hill because, Valerie's got a cast on her arm right now. And Joyce Bryan and Betty Fleming Joyce is always coming dressed up. And Joyce and Betty usually come up with some really cute little costumes. One year they were Sunny and Cher. Joyce was Cher and Betty was Sunny. So I hope that they'll be there today, and I'll be excited to see what they're going to wear. But not everybody wears a costume. That's not for everybody. I don't usually do scary costumes. I like fun stuff. So I thought referees would be fun. A couple of years ago, Tim and I was a police officer and he was a bank robber. So yeah, it's just fun. It's just a fun thing to do. And I like to do the costumes. So, but not everybody will wear costumes, but we'll have a fun afternoon. We're going to dance, and Angela from Wilson Manor is bringing cookies and drinks, and Jamie Sloan from Senior Benefits has already come by and brought popcorn and M&Ms mixed together in a bag. So if you don't have anything to do this afternoon and you're 55 and over and you just like a fun afternoon, come on out. You can dance with us, or you can just sit around and watch and enjoy the refreshments.
Yeah, speaking of the M&Ms, I remember what Miss Judy was saying a while ago. Can you imagine that?
Oh, no. Yeah, but I can imagine. And you do. I look around my house, and we get used to what we have in there. Of course, they looked at my refrigerator. They'd probably say, those people never eat because there's just not much in my fridge these days.
Time for us to take a break. Teresa Botts with the Lebanon Senior Citizen Center is here, and we got a lot more to talk about after this break on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford, and they've got $50 off, $250 repair offer to owners of 4 to 10-year-old Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury vehicles. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Filling out paperwork on this crash over here on the west side. It's 40 eastbound at 440. Still pretty heavy on 40 east coming in from Kingston Springs. Behind it, you got all that traffic in from Dixon County, Hickman County. 2100 block at Gallatin Pike in Madison. They just rolled up on the scene of that wreck. Right now, I'm looking at this wreck over to the side, 75 southbound, right at the 24 juncture. That's going to be before you get up to Trinity Lane. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, home of the world-famous cotton candy wine. Check out all their flavors at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
I do a lot of thinking while I'm driving. I think about my kids, my grandkids, and my insurance business. When's the last time you thought about having your insurance program reviewed? This is John Bryan with THW Insurance. We're an independent, trusted choice insurance agency representing several top-rated insurance companies like Westfield Insurance Company. Give me a call at 615-443-3849 for a no-obligation review of your current insurance plan. THW Insurance Services, serving Lebanon and Wilson County for decades.
Mike Vrabel heads into year 4 at the helm as head coach of the Tennessee Titans with a renewed and regenerated defense and an offense that now features Tannehill, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, and now Julio Jones. Your 2021 Tennessee Titans play right here.
Brought to you by Fakes and Hooker, Bates Ford, Steve Mall Plumbing, The Jewelers, and the City of Lebanon Gas in Tennessee. 811, call before you dig.
Real Country 98.9. Hi, everybody. I'm Tommy Bryan. Join me, Bob Lee, Terry Stafford, and Joe Gardner as we bring you Lebanon High football live every Friday night right here on WANT and WCOR throughout this 2021 season. The Blue Devils close out the regular season in McMinnville at Warren County Friday, October 29. Don't forget Blue Devil football on WANT WCOR Lebanon. Hi, everybody. This is Tommy Bryan, and along with my color commentator, Bob Lee, we'll be bringing you Cumberland University football right here on WANT and WCOR. Saturday, October 30, Cumberland travels to Thomas More University. Cumberland football right here on WANT and WCOR Lebanon.
We continue here on a Friday morning, our last program for October 2021.
Yeah.
And it's Teresa here doing the honors and talking about the Lebanon Senior Citizen Center.
Yeah, and if you don't know where the Lebanon Senior Citizen Center is, I know you do, Coleman, because you played cornhole there the other day.
Don't remind me.
Well, you did better than I did. I had to play, and I got beat the first round.
I thought you played really well.
Well, Linda and I just didn't do so great.
We had a 13-0 lead and blew it, and I'm still smarting from that.
I know.
I blew it.
That's kind of how cornhole goes, too. We do have so much fun. If you don't know where we are, we're located at 670 Coles Ferry Pike. We're right there. We shared the parking lot with the Jimmy Floyd Center. And come on out to see us. Going to have a fun Halloween party this afternoon at 1. Next Friday, I'm really excited. David Turner, who is the ventriloquist that we see at the fair.
David Turner is such a nice guy.
He is a great guy.
And he is so talented. Of course, he's done that so long.
Yes.
It just comes natural, I guess.
Yes.
But he's got a great show.
He does. And, a lot of his, I want to call him his friends that he uses in his show, he has made them. The wooden ones he has carved himself. And his wife, Rowena, is just the sweetest. We love hanging out with them at the fair. And they're right beside the information booth where I work. And they are just so much fun. So we're going to have David and his friends out next Friday at 1:00. So come on out and have lunch. Let's see.
His friends being all those little ones that he talks to.
Yes, all of his little friends that he talks through, we will say. But next Friday, we've got beef nachos with chips and cheese, refried beans and rice, and lemon icebox pie. And then David Turner will be there.
Tell you what, if I can make it, I think that would be a good lunch and a good program.
That has kind of become a favorite lunch. A lot of people love that lunch.
Next Friday.
Next Friday,
right.
Yes. So try to come. David is just so entertaining, and we have so much fun with him. So much fun. The show is all free, and just come have lunch. Friday's lunches are $5, and that's a little bit more expensive lunch. With the cost of everything going up, we're trying to keep our lunches at our $4 price. So we've moved our little bit more expensive meals to Fridays, and probably still aren't breaking even on them, but we do fabulous fundraisers like the yard sale that we had last weekend, and that kind of helps us out. I want to mention our yard sale. It was a huge success, and we want to thank everybody who made donations. MJ did, Medina did, had some nice big things. Tons of people that made donations. Susie came out and shopped with us. But if it weren't for all of those wonderful items that we had a lady that actually had passed away, and she had a collection of cookbooks that her children did not want, and they gave us her cookbooks, probably 250 to 300 cookbooks. Nice cookbooks. They went fast. I had one lady that came up, handed me her money, and said, "Okay, tell me when I'm out of money." And she bought 40 cookbooks. 40 cookbooks. So, we were very blessed with wonderful donations. We were blessed with wonderful shoppers, and always a big shout out to Don with the Wilson County Sheriff's Office. He always brings that crew over. They help us move all the tables and chairs out of the dining room. Well, we leave the tables. Then they help us get all the good stuff out, helped us, move things. And then everything that was left, we took to the back porch. And Monday morning, they came out and took it to the Haven House. So thank you to the Wilson County Sheriff's Office. The trustees are always great. They love coming out, and we love having them there. So they really help us a lot. But wonderful yard sale helps us keep our doors open. So thank you to everybody that helped us out. We were just chatting about stuff. We're going to be touring the City of Lebanon Museum on Tuesday, November the 16th at 1 o'clock. Now, I'm going to take the bus over, but I can only put 13 people on the bus plus me. So if you want to meet us over there, anybody can meet us. It's over at City Hall up on the hill. And we'll be touring the City Museum. I had never been in there. And somebody had donated some old Lebanon High School yearbooks to us. And I'd sent an email to Mayor Rick and said, "Y'all want these?" And he said, "Yes." So I took them over and got to tour the museum. I'd never seen it. And it was just really fun seeing all the Castle Heights memorabilia in there, lots of pictures. And do you know what I saw in there? I saw the head of the critter from Sugar Flat. Oh. Do you know it was at Cuz's Antiques forever? It is at the City Museum, Coleman. Have you seen that?
No.
Do you remember that at Cuz's Antiques ever?
I don't particularly remember. I might have seen it and forgot.
Well, there's a story behind it, and I'm not going to get into it because you got to come tour the City Museum to hear the story. But evidently, this critter was run over on Sugar Flat out there, out in the country. Yeah. But the head is there. It's in a little glass box, and it's there, Coleman. You want to go now, don't you? You're going to go with us on Tuesday, November the 16th.
You mentioned it. I haven't been in there either.
It is really cool.
I say that to my shame, really.
It changes. Yeah. Kathleen Vale is over that, and I think that Larry Singleton is providing some items, and they're going to, I don't know if it will be ready at that point, but at some point, he has got a lot of items from businesses that are original to Lebanon. And so that's going to be a really nice display. Also, they're going to be doing a display on the maneuvers that were done in Lebanon and Wilson County, and they're asking for stories. If you've read your newsletter, there's a little blurb on the back that they're asking for stories, and they'd love them handwritten. Do you remember when the maneuvers were here? Yeah. You were very awfully young. My mother remembers, but she's got a few years on you.
But I remember.
She remembers the soldiers coming, and they couldn't go to the store, so they would give them money and ask them to go buy them candy, and then they'd give the kids some candy. So they'd love to have stories like that, especially if they're handwritten, and they'll put those on display there at the Lebanon Museum. So it's great. Kathleen works really hard on that. And since Mayor Rick is the Lebanon City historian, I think that he really is putting a lot of emphasis on it. But I enjoyed my little trip over there so much. And I'm looking forward to taking my group over and actually having a guided tour. But if you want to ride the bus with us, call and sign up. The first 13 can ride the bus. Otherwise, just meet us over there. It's not a mile from the center. Meet us over there. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing a holiday jewelry class with Janet. Going to be making some fall and Christmas bracelets, necklaces, things like that. That's going to be next Wednesday, November the 3rd at 1. The cost is $5 for that. So sign up with us. We're going to be doing 2 shopping trips in November because I'm not sure I really want to go to the mall in December. So I'm going to be taking a group on Wednesday, November the 10th to Greenwood Mall in Bowling Green. And then on Wednesday, November the 17th, we're going to go to Cool Springs Mall. So if you want to get your holiday shopping shopping done, need to go to the mall for some things, just you can start calling next Monday morning at 8 o'clock, and you got to be a member, and you can sign up and go with us on some of these holiday shopping trips. Get that shopping done, then you can just sit back and relax, or do like me and get on Amazon. We're going to be doing a holiday card class on Friday, November the 12th with Robin Chance at 12:30. And she does a really great class. She'll make 6 holiday cards, and I believe the cost of that is $15. And you'll have 6 beautiful handmade cards to give out to some of your friends. We're going to be having our birthday dance. We do our birthday party a little different now. First Freedom Bank is providing the cake and ice cream, and we do that with lunch rather than do it during the party. COVID changed lots of things, like Jack Mccall was saying. So we do the cake and ice cream with lunch, and then we do a birthday dance like we always did, and just have a lot of fun. Wilson Bank and Trust is going to be coming to do turkey bingo with us on Monday, November the 15th. We will be closed on November the 11th to honor our veterans, and then on November 25th and 26th for the Thanksgiving holiday. And also, I will tell you that when I was speaking with Kathleen and Mayor Rick at the City Museum, they are very happy to receive pictures. So if you've got pictures from the Sesquicentennial that we did in, what was it? I don't even remember. A lot of years ago, I was a kid. But that, I don't know if it was the National Sesquicentennial. I think it was the City of Lebanon Sesquicentennial. But we have some pictures where my dad dressed up. If you've got pictures, they will copy them, give you your picture back, and let you go. So they'd love to get pictures from, and even sales that were on. Do you remember the goat sales on the square?
Yeah.
I don't, but things like that as well. So they'd love to get pictures. They'll give you your photograph. They'll just scan it and give you your photograph right back. They'll blow it up and they'll use it in the museum. And then, Coleman, I'm going to be back here on a Tuesday in November, Tuesday, November the 30th, and at 7:30, and we'll talk about the month of December.
Well, thanks for your visit today. Good to see you. And that's it for Friday. I hope you'll join us Monday. And until then, I wish you a fantastic day.